Hey, hello, welcome back to another episode. So we're gonna continue on where we left off the last time round. Just a little bit of recap. What we've done so far is we actually kind of like we updated a little about the logic side of the game to better understand what is going on. We've created this flowchart of stuff. So we kind of have the timer working, and we have the the tap handler working as well. Uh, I think the next thing we want to do is actually to refine the more of the UI aspect. Sorry, UI aspect of things. Why did I say expect? Aspect of things, right? So like we're gonna neaten this up a little bit so that we can do a little bit of testing much a little better. So things like we're going to ensure that the timer drops down, it ticks down as accurately as possible. Not say accurate. You can see the timer countdown and stuff like that. So we would like that to happen because, well, to be honest, if we run stuff here, it just doesn't it makes it difficult for us to do testing as well. So we're gonna work with UI today. All right. Okay. So for UI, let's take a look back at our planning board. We are going to get it, working as close to what we have in our vision. So there should only be one thing appearing at a time. For example, the start button, the countdowns, and things like that. So we're gonna utilize Bootstrap's classes. Since we're using Bootstrap, we're gonna utilize that. So let's go Bootstrap 5.3. Again, when we're looking for Bootstrap's stuff, I normally just type in Bootstrap 5.3. Or can I type in Bootstrap latest? Bootstrap latest. Yeah, okay, so that works as well. So the problem with Bootstrap is that if you don't specify which version you want to work with, it comes, you can see that this is, there will be some older version of Bootstrap appearing in your search engine. Why does that happen? I'm not too sure again. Yeah, but 5.3. So one of the things that we can make use of is if you look at the display, there is this none. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with that web development, you can change the display type of an element. If you were to type like using the CSS, so this is under CSS, you can change it from block or flex and all the other stuff here, but none will make it disappear. So that's what none is. So Bootstrap has made it easy for you to make it invisible. So basically what none does is it just if I'm not wrong, it makes the element hidden in a way. You see the button here is still there. If I put none, the element itself is still there, but it's hidden from the view. So that's what's happening. Okay. Yeah, so we can make use of that. So why we would like to make use of that is because we will need the button again later on. So switching it from none to appearing back as block would be a much easier choice, honestly. Okay, so we'll work with that. We'll work with the easy things first. So we're gonna work with the start button. So looking back at our code, let's take a look back at our code. By the way, I ran the code ahead of time. So for those of you who want to know how I ran it, this is the code. Python 3-m http.server bind 127. So this portion again is just to bind to my local host. Okay, so where do we go? Okay, here we want to manage all this stuff, right? So we can start with hiding the scoring portion of things. So like the score and the tab, perhaps we can hide this first. So we can put the class none here. So let's see how it looks like. If we take a look at our browser and we refresh it, refresh. That is very strange. Let's take a look back at our code. Oh wait, maybe I'm supposed to put d none. My apologies, d none. There we go. Go back here to our browser. Oh, there we go. Everything's gone. Okay, so yeah, that's okay. But we want the start button as well. Did we put the start button here as well? Yes, we put the start button here as well. Which I think, yeah, we should do that. Perhaps we should move it out to another div as well. So we have two different divs. So instead of relying on just one column, by making one column disappear, we'll just we'll just use the div. Okay, going back to the code. So instead of just putting it on the parent level, we are going to split the start button and the tab button, because we want them on two different places. So that we can actually control who appears and who doesn't. Okay, so here we can just put that class none here, class equals to d none. And we will also want to put an ID on this so that it's easier for us to target it later. So here we can do as tab UI. We'll call it a tab UI. Then we'll call this guy ID equals to start UI. So we have that. Now I'm going to you probably, if you're building this, I think you can just kind of like maybe have another UI that says countdown UI. Maybe I should do that as well. So start UI, countdown UI. So my previous version of it was that I put the number onto the button itself, which now when I think about it, visually it's not very appealing. So I'm going to create a new div and call the ID countdowns UI. And then we'll have a countdown timer here. Possibly we'll do some numbers that's bigger and stuff like that, so it looks much more exciting in a way. Okay, so now we have all this, and yeah, let's see what happens now. We'll go back to our browser. Okay, so we have the start button here. So let's look back at our planning. Okay, we have, oh yeah, we need a game over as well. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we'll add the game over as well. So let's go back to our code. Yeah. So I have the tab UI and things like that. We will also create an ID called nUI. And we will also add the class dnone to it so that it doesn't appear. Or maybe I'll not put the dnone first, because I would like to see how it looks like first. So h1, let's say game over here, and here we'll have maybe h3. I'll put there score. Probably the score, I will put the ID here as score. ID equals to score. And score, so that we don't mix up. I'm probably gonna use the word score somewhere else again as well. Especially here, yeah, you see here. So we'll just call this ID equals to current score. Okay, good. Okay, let's check this out and see. Go back to our browser. Okay, good enough for now. We'll work with that later. What if I make this disappear? The start button disappear. Display none. Okay, it's a bit off, but I don't have any complaints about it actually. Yeah, I could add later on I can add some classes to this, but now we'll not think about it. We'll not think about it too much for now. We'll just work on the other aspect of things first. So I'm gonna put the dnone here. Excuse me. The weather has been quite cold. All right. Now, getting back to the browser, we have the start button. Okay, good. Okay, planning back to planning. Here. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't. There we go. Right. Now, what we want is that when you click on the start game, the countdown timer will begin. So, what we want as well is, let's put the scenario here, is that when we click on this, the start buttons disappear. Start button disappears. Is how do you spell disappears? Single S. Embedded. Oh, double P, right? Disappears. What was I typing? Start button disappears upon clicking. Then here we will say countdown timer appears once start game at start. We'll put it at start. Then countdown timer disappears once turn to 0. We will move this here. Okay. Then who should we put the? We should put the game timer. We should put the appearing of the appearing and disappearing of the let's see, tab UI appears, tab UI disappears after timer runs out. Okay, that should do it. Then end game, this is where end UI appears. Yeah, there we go. All right, that should do it. Okay. I know we're missing the restart button and stuff like that. So let me just put a red note here. Okay, so then we can think about it later. Okay, here we'll just put here missing retry button, retry or replay button. Okay, so we'll think about that later. Let's not like mess our brains too much. Let's work on one thing at a time. We just want to do this logic first. Okay. Now the question is, do we want to create a function to handle all this visual aesthetic stuff? The answer is, of course, yes. I think it will make it much easier for us to handle all this. So let's do handle start UI. So what this does is it will help with the appearing and disappearing of the UI. So can I come on, give me my elements. So let's drag this prim and proper. So handles appearance. Yep, appearance and disappearance of start UI. Okay, we'll do the same with the rest. So we have countdown UI as well. Handle countdown UI. I would say it's a user interface, but never mind. Okay, countdown UI. Okay, here we go. Click that. Let's just take a look at our code for a bit, because I want to tally the the names proper. So we have start UI, countdown UI, tab UI, and end UI. Okay, so that's, we just want the naming to be, to be the same. So we have countdown UI, tab UI, start here, start. We have start, see, start UI, countdown UI, tab UI, and end UI. Okay, so yeah, so we'll do that. So next is we'll have tab UI, handle tab UI, tab UI here, and then we also have the end UI. End UI here, handle end UI. Okay, let's have it at that. So countdown there, this tab UI, can I move this? Tools, scan I. Can I shift all this? Oh yes, I can. That is amazing. Okay, so what we want to do is I want to shift this guy here, and the end UI I would like to shift it here so that they're all in the same group, you see. I think it will benefit us if we change this to a different color as well. Maybe a different, no. Okay, maybe this shade of green. So we know that this is the, we're doing the UI aspect of things here. So we can target it easily. And then for DOM content loaded, we'll give it a little pink. I think that would be good. So we know these are the different parts that we are handling. So the darker greens are more of the logic. The lighter greens are the display or the interfaces, and the pink is just a general, maybe a general function. So we have that. So with that, let's see how we can handle it. Now, the benefit of separating all this into different, like business logic versus the display logic kind of thing, it's easier for you to handle them. Rather, like if you would like to troubleshoot it later on, it'll be much easier to handle. It's also true when you're dealing with front end as well. We're doing web development, same thing. So I'm trying to emulate that in a way. Not the best, I'm not good at it, but I'm gonna do it. So the first is we're gonna do a function called handle, handle starts UI. Okay, so when we do this, we want it to either flip to appear or disappear. So if we take a look here, we have our start UI ID. So we're gonna call that. So let's start UI. Let's start UI equals to document dot query selector. We'll do a hashtag since it's an ID. Start UI. So then from here we can toggle the if the class is there, then we will remove it. If it's not there, we'll add on to it. So that will be the idea. But how do we handle that? That's a good question, isn't it? We need to first check for the class. And for the life of me, I can't remember how we should go about looking for the class. So let's go back to the browser and CSS, how to find what class is on an element. Actually JavaScript, why am I doing CSS? JavaScript, yes. So this is how I traditionally do it. If you're not going to use ChatGPT, you want to shy away from ChatGPT, this is how traditionally I do my stuff. I just type on Google and see. Usually Stack Overflow is will have good answers. Why I like Stack Overflow is that not only do you have the like accepted answer, you also have like some people will give their thoughts on it and things like that. So it'll be nice to read at certain times as well. They really have a lot of information at times. So if you like to learn more and like you wanna like you have the time to do that, it's better to actually just read Stack Overflow. The problem is that I think it's hard to find things through Stack Overflow, like exactly Stack Overflow. I think you can do something like this: site Stack Overflow JS find CSS find class. Maybe do I need like that? Search Google, search by sites. There's a keyword that you can use. See, so when you refine, Control F sites. Where is it? To narrow how to use search. Oh, so I will need stackoverflow.com, something like that. Let's try again. Sites, stackoverflow.com, JS find class name. Oh, there we go. Yes. So if you would like to do some, exact searches, this is the best way to do it. Yeah. So you just want to find it through Stack Overflow. You can just do it this way. Site stackoverflow.com. In case you can't see, this is how I did it. All right, so it will give you all the results from Stack Overflow. It's one of the best things you will want to use. Okay, so because nowadays sometimes you won't get the results you need if you just Google just like that. So this will help to refine your searches. All right. Okay. Back to the task at end. Can I reset this? Reset. Okay, so I will look at MDN document. I just want the. No, this is not the droid I was looking for. This is by jQuery. We don't want jQuery. Okay, we need to find perhaps how JS class exists in ID in selected element. Oh, dot has class. Okay, let's see whether that works. We'll look at countdown start UI. So we can do our testing here on the console. So if you go back to our VS Code, we can just use this. Just copy this portion first, and we'll go back to our browser. Now I will use var instead of let here for those of you who I need to do allow pasting. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with what okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with JavaScript, var is the traditional way of you declaring variables. It's a little bit more flexible. I think we will do it injustice to call it flexible, but just use var. I prefer to use var on the browser. Let will cause some headaches later on. So var is a better way for me when I try to do testing on the browser itself. Okay, so when we do this, so when I call start UI, I should be able to find it. And if I call in has class, dnone. It's not a function. Oh, this is jQuery, sorry. How about a non-jQuery stuff? Why do people want to use... Okay, I know why people want to use jQuery, but I would like to use plain JavaScript. Oh, class list. So that's the one I was looking for. So here, let's try again. Start UI is our the one with the ID. Dot class list, then followed by dot contains. So we use the contains dnone. So you can see that it says false because apparently this doesn't have. So if we try to look for something that does have dnone, here tab UI, right? So we go back here. What was it? End UI or is it tab UI? So if we were to do something like that, and if we do tab UI dot class lists dot contains dnone, this should come out. Oh, my class list, the L is not capitalized. So this will come out true because there is a class called dnone. Okay, so the class itself. So what does a class list contain? For those of you who are like me, okay, class list basically it will check what classes are inside this element. So you can see that. Okay, so moving on. So once we check to see whether it does contain, then we will put it in. Sorry, if it does contain, we will remove it. If it does not, then we will put it in. So let's just start UI. Start UI. We'll just copy this. Okay, and we'll go back to our code, and we'll just put the if like that. So because it evaluates to true or false. So if this contains dnone, actually, should I think it's best if let me just try to put it here. Let's display. Yeah, we'll just put that display equals. We'll just put it like that, I guess. Then we'll put display. So if it does display, if it's true, then do this. If not, then do the other thing. Let's see. If it does contain, we want to remove it. So we can still use the start UI. So we can do start UI since we selected it already. Dot. If I'm not wrong, add class name, I guess. Class name. No. How do I add class? JS add class name to elements. How to add class name? How to add class? Okay, you can also go to W3 Schools. W3 Schools has good stuff. So class list dot add. Okay, I see. It's dot add. Right. Wow. Class list dot add. Let's go. Class list dot add, and then we'll just put there dnone. How about we remove? How about removing? Remove. So remove function. Okay, so we'll just dot remove, I guess. Oh, okay, right. I thought it would be much more complicated than that, but seems like it isn't. Okay, we'll just do an else here, and we'll use the same start UI, and we'll do this. Remove. Okay, so this is the handling of the start UI. So if it appears, we want it to disappear. If it disappears, we want it to reappear. Yep. So we can still use this handle start UI to handle the countdown UI. So then here start UI can be countdown UI, and here we'll just change this as well. So the risk of this is that I have not tested it yet. So I want this to, when I click on it, then it will do this, and then yeah, let's try that for now. Okay, we'll try this both first, because if you let's look at our planning again. Okay, how it's handling is that start button, when we click on it, it will disappear. So we need the handle start UI there. Then under the countdown timer, we need that as well. Okay, so let's try that. Let's go to our code, and we are going to add it in handle start UI. So handle start UI will go into start game. So once we do start game, this will put it there, handle start UI, and then we'll do handle countdown UI. That will be under countdown timer. So we want it to appear here, and we want it to disappear after it clears everything. Yeah. So yeah, let's see if this works. Let's go back to our browser. Go here, refresh it, and start. It doesn't work. It's not working. Okay, never mind. That's fine. We'll see what's going on. Okay, let's see. Let's look back at the code. What is happening? So technically it should have worked. Handle start UI. So let's look at our handle start UI. Handle start UI. Handle start UI. Okay, so one way to test this is if we go back to our browser and we refresh this, and we'll type that handle start UI. It's not defined. It's undefined. What's happening? Handle start UI. Handle start UI. This is that's weird. Okay, let's look at our sources. Yeah, I do have here handle start UI. What's happening? Why are you not being triggered? Oh. No. I want you to run. Can I run it here? No, I want you to run this for me. I can start game, but I can't do this. That is strange. Oh, did I? Maybe I. Oh yeah, I typed it wrongly. Oops. No, it's not. Okay, we'll run the code one by one. Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, so going back to the VS Code. Okay, we'll do this first. Oh, sorry, this first. Okay, so going back here, and I'm gonna put the var. Oh, there we go. We have it here already. Start UI. Okay, we have start UI. Good. The next one would be we will lift this display. Okay, and go back to our browser. We'll do the same thing, var. Okay, seems okay. So we can actually check. We can just go display. Oh, sorry, display. See, so it says false. So if that's the case, then we should be able to run this. This code. Sorry, I didn't switch to the VS Code, but we lifted this code. It says undefined. So this should be false. So this shouldn't trigger, else should. It should remove. That is very strange. What is happening? So let me just take this out. Is this not working? So let's try. Yeah, this is not working. This start UI.class, this is not working. Why? So let's break it down. So start UI is there. Dot class list is there. Okay. Oh, okay, I know why. I messed it up. So, of course, there isn't any, right? So it's false. So there isn't any D none inside here. So it will be false. So it will trigger this. If there's already none, why would I want to remove it, right? So I want to add on to it. So this should be, it should be an exclamation mark, and I left it out. So here, instead of like that, I should do it this way, right? If I don't want to do it this way, I could just like, oh, if it's false, then I want it to add, and yeah, I could just swap this, but I could also do this. Okay, I just like, if there's none of it, then I want to add, and yeah, now let's try this again. Well, I could, yeah, let's. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I prefer it that way anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's try again. Yeah. So yeah, brain farts happen. So don't worry about it. If you did a mistake, it's fine. Just we'll find out how to do it. Okay, you see now this works. The countdown UI of course doesn't appear because we don't have anything on the countdown UI. So don't worry about that. We'll work on it. Oh no, shucks, I didn't show you guys the browser here. So you can see that this will work now. See that? There's nothing on the countdown UI because we never placed anything on the countdown UI. So no worries about that. We'll work on that. Yeah. So we know that the handling appearing and disappearing of the UI works. Now we just need the next step, which is how do we place the timer into the countdown UI. So let's work on that. So now we have the we added the UI appears, right? So the next question would be, how do we add the numbers into the the countdown numbers into the UI. So we could make another function, call it handle number display or handle countdown number display. We could do that. Then it just like works with, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna do that then. Don't think too much, we're just gonna do that. People will laugh at me for over coding stuff, but I think it's better to kind of overcode a little. Yeah. Handle countdown timer. Countdown timer display. So what this guy does is he just handles the display. So let's what was the here, countdown UI here, right? So maybe I'll just put a h1 here, and I'll call it an ID here equals to countdown time. Okay, and then we'll just add on to that. Okay, so here, let's countdown timer display equals to, yeah, the naming is pretty long, but I rather know what exactly am I calling out the code for rather than guessing what it is. Query selector will call for the ID countdown timer. Am I correct? Countdown timer? Yes, correct. Countdown timer. And then we'll just go like a countdown timer display inner text equals to we'll put a number, and number, and we are going to do it this way. Okay, so this function is really just to change the number. That's all it does. So here I'm going to call in the function. I'm just making life difficult for me, but at the same time I want to make it a little cleaner so that I can see what is going on. So every time it clicks, we'll just call this in, and then this number will pass in the countdown time. So ta-da, we'll just see. Okay, let's see how it is. Not looking forward to it. Let's see. Okay, press start. It didn't call the function, did I? What is going on? Like I said, I'm always... Let's go back to the code. Oh, wait, hold on. The number 1 appeared. What's going on? Why? Oh, where is this? Where's this number 1 coming from? Where is the number 1 coming from? Okay, so we kind of need to, what's going on? Handle countdown timer display. So technically, if each interval comes into it, then shouldn't this appear? It should call the function. That's my, that's my, that's the idea of it, Maybe if I put it outside. Wait, what happens if I put it outside of the if else statement? Technically, it should work. Okay, let's try again. No, it doesn't. They say when it ends, then only then the number comes out. So I'm guessing it has something to do with... I didn't... I keep forgetting to switch the... So you can see that the number only comes out after the... Okay, let me just maybe do this so that you all can see. So you see when I press start, so you can see that as it ticks down, it only when the timer ends, only then does the number appear. So that is the clue that we have to work with. Okay, so that's the clue that we have to work with. So let's go back to the code. I have a feeling it's something to do with the timer interval. But it doesn't make sense that only when it... How should we handle this? How did I even handle this the last time? Okay, let me think for a while. Okay, so I took a look at the my old code. Well, I had this. I had this inside the timer. Yeah, so basically I was using the start button. So the start button was in a, what's it called, global level variable, which I don't want to do that. Maybe if okay, let's try running this function inside the browser and see whether we can find any clues on it. Okay, let's try. Why did I do this? Okay, can we? No, we can't stop it. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, let me pick up the code real quick. Okay, so if I paste this and I put the number, say 1, well, it does work, you see. When I manually enter it here, it does work. Okay, so it does work. Okay, the function does work. Okay, so the function does work. I think... what is happening? Maybe... I think it's where this is supposed to be placed. That's the question. How about we put it here? Let's see whether that helps. Not too sure whether this will help, but this is where I place my my old code. I did the inner text here. I just selected the start button. The start button was a like a global level variable. Then I just called in the inner HTML, just added it in there like that. So let's hope that this works. Oh no, I didn't show you the code. So I shifted it from... oh no. So I shifted it from here to here. Yeah, so we'll see whether this works. So I've saved it. So let's go back to the browser. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So let's try. Still doesn't work. Why? Why does this not work? Why does it only appear when this ends? Okay, let's see. We'll look into the code again. If I were to take this whole code and replace it here, and countdown time, will this work? Let's go back to the browser. I doubt it will work, but yeah, it doesn't work. So it has something to do... yeah, I'm guessing it has something to do with this. Let's move. Okay, let's not go so far up. We'll just put it here first. Okay, just in case this works, then we'll see what we can do with it. No, it doesn't. What on earth is going on? Huh. Or is it? It doesn't. Or is... oh, hold on. Okay, maybe. Okay, let's see. Maybe. Okay, let's see. Handle countdown UI. We'll do this here. And we'll put this. So I'm just trying to track. We're just gonna track to see whether it adds and removes the display. Maybe that is one, maybe that. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you guys. Yeah. So what I've done is that I've added the console.log onto handle countdown UI to see whether does it add or remove the display options. Okay, so we're trying to check what's going on here. So it does add the display. Yeah. So and then it removes the display. Okay. Okay. What's going on? Oh, that is very strange. So basically it added the dnone to it, and then after that it removed it at the end. That's why we have this. So it was already there. My function was working. It's just that this was going on. So if this was true, this is false, right? So false. So false, invert turns true. True, you will add. Oh, okay. Let's if it contains the none, it does contain the none. It's true. It turns false. Then it should remove. But why is it not removing? It's very strange. Okay, so this. Okay, I need to check. What is going on? My brain is not braining. Let's see what is going on. We need to see countdown UI display. We need to see what is going on here. Display here. Okay, so it's false. So it should be true. Oh, why is it false though? Oh. Okay, I know. Okay, so I added this countdown UI display, right? So why? I know what's going on. You see, this, it happens. We didn't put this. Okay, let's go back to our browser. This should solve it. There we go. Okay, there we go. Alright, so that works. Okay. So we can let's go back to the code. We can remove all this console.log. Okay, we don't need them. And we can call this back in. Hopefully this works this time around. So let's move this. And we can put this here. Okay, so the next thing is maybe instead of here we put it up here. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the browser. Oh, number is not defined. Oh my, oh, I forgot. Here, I forgot to change that part. So here, the number you need to change to countdown time. Okay, go back to the browser. Refresh that. Okay, great. This works. this works well. Okay, so now we have that running. That's so we know what's going on. When we go back to our code here, we need to check to make sure that under the HTML, all the classes has dnone on it. The guys that we want to hide should have dnone on that. So that's the thing. So let's work on that. We'll do all this UI stuff now, and probably we can pause for the day, I guess. So we have handle countdown UI. So let's copy this. No, I will copy this. We also have handle tab UI. So tab UI here, and then we'll change this to tab. So tab UI, tab UI, tab UI, and then we have handle end UI as well. So we put an end here, and then we can change all this. Okay, good. So now we can kind of like work things out. Under HTML, we have countdown timer there, tab button there, game over score here. Okay, all right. So we'll do here. Under the game timer, this is where the tab will appear. So we'll go handle tab UI. So we haven't done the timer yet. We're just doing the handle tab UI first. Okay, and then the end game will have handle tab UI here maybe again, and then we also have handle end UI here. So let's take a look on our planning. Did we have it correct? So handle start UI, so game timer controls, tab UI appears at start, tab UI disappear after timer runs out. Also, we need both of the game timer to be there. So we don't want this, we don't want handle tab UI to be in end game. We want it under the when the timer is running. So I think it's before the end game. So let's do that. So let's check the sequence of things to see that it's working fine. So press start. Okay. So it's counting down for us. And then it will just do the tapping stuff. And then the timer is still running for 10 seconds. And it should change somewhere around now. There we go. Okay, so everything works. So far, everything works. Okay, so the next thing we need to tackle is actually the loading bar. Okay, so that's I guess we can handle that the next time round. I think for now, I think this is a bit too much for one episode. So yeah, thank you so much for today. I'll see you all the next time round. Like, I really appreciate if you're watching this throughout, see the development of my game. Even though it's a very easy looking game, you can see how much trouble I'm having. So thank you so much once again, and I hope to see you on the next one. Please drop a like and subscribe if you think that I'm worth the watch. Okay, and yeah, feel free to comment. See ya.